Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick, and I'm starting up a new project. I just finished the last one from Daydreams by Hanna Karlzon, and as you recall, sorry for the glare, I had just colored the frog on top of the mushrooms, showed you how to do the mushrooms, showed you how to add some really neat things to the flowers, and also showed you how to customize your raindrops. So I got to looking on the other side. There we go, coughing again. I got to looking on the other side of the page and saw this, and that just really piqued my interest. So I'm going to go ahead and color that, and there's some really neat techniques that I want to show you. All right. So let me set this aside and set that aside. I hope everybody's doing okay this fine Tuesday. And I'm about to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so here's the picture. And what I did is I copied it onto cardstock, which I've been really happy with coloring on, because with my various pencils, I haven't had any problem with blending. So because of the way that my pictures store in my book, I've got an acid-free book, and there's a black protective page that is in each sleeve. So when I put this one in, this side ends up against that black protective page, and I can't see this other side, which is fine, no biggie. I could take out the black thingy, but I'm deciding to leave it in. So this gets covered up, and that's why I went ahead and made my copy. And in fact, as I'm looking at this, this is on the tan paper, and I actually prefer white. So it works out. All right. So as you know, I always like to do coloring ahead for you so you can see where I'm going with all this. Let me pull you down just a little bit. You ready? There you go. So, obviously I've done a bunch of experimentation on this. Some of it I'm going to use, some of it I won't. But here is the key thing that I want to show you, and what I'm going to be covering in the next video or two. So I'm going to show you how to do this dual color on the cloud. I had to look at this a minute because there was rain coming out the bottom, and then this was up at the top. So I had to think what was going on, which I know sounds kind of dumb, but I had to just run it through my UniVac and understand. So I thought it would be kind of cool to do the blue cloud on top, because that shows a nice day, and the gray on the bottom with the rain coming out the bottom. Now, regarding the rain, you know that I customized the rain on the last drawing that I did, or coloring that I did. And let me pull you in a little bit and show you. So I was playing around with some things. I thought, here's the raindrop. I thought maybe I could put a little bow on top and then have the strings come out. And actually, quite honestly, the more I got to looking at this, the more it really started to look to me like an actual rude picture, if you know what I mean. So what I've decided to do, and I've circled it, is I'm going to go ahead, let me get you in here. I'm going to go ahead and color this. I'll use the black on the left. I showed you the coloring on the rain technique on my last one, and then put the blue over here. So basically it's going to be this pattern with a little curly Q on the top. Now the reason I'm doing the curly Q is, I hope you see it, is because then that ties in with the curly Qs that are in the clouds. So by the time all this other junk is gone and I'm, showing the little raindrops, it's going to look really cool. All right. The other thing I want to point out in this is we're going to add some birds. That's this. If you look at your original, you can see that I've also added some flags. And the coloring technique that I'm going to be showing you is, let's see what I can do here. Hold on, please. Sorry about that. Is the sunlight is coming in from the upper left, so it's coming down this way. And so this is simple eyeshadow, yellow eyeshadow. I just put that on there, and I'm probably going to enhance that yellow. Oh, darn it, guys, sorry. I'm probably going to enhance that yellow with another shade of yellow just for giggles and laughs. But the light is coming down this way. And what that ends up doing is, and the green building is the best, is it's going to shade each building. So here's the green, right? So there's light, medium, dark, and then we've got the nice edge here, and that gives it a really neat three-dimensional look. Look at this blue. Isn't that great? It looks great. So that's using that technique. Here it is on the red, okay? Here it is on the orange, and here it is on the brown. Now, the funny thing about this building, oh, and I added dots to this because I wanted to change that pattern on the roof. But of course, you'd add those dots the very last thing after you laid down your color. Okay, now, the one thing about this building is I got to looking at it and realized this is not three separate structures. So I'm going to pick one of these colors, probably the brown maybe, because I've got red here, but the brown, and then I'm probably going to move this orange down to here, okay? And then I've got purple started on this tower. The other thing then is I went ahead and I colored in the outline on all the windows, and let me pull you in real close because I want you to see this. Is you can see the little blue dashed lines on here. That is to indicate a glass pane. So again, lots of really neat things we can do on this. Gonna have lots of fun with it. Now I went ahead, I was gonna put this pattern on the door, and I thought, nah, we don't want bricks for a door, that looks dumb. So exit out. So I think based on what you're seeing, there's some pretty fun stuff in here. I wanted to give you a good idea of what I was going to be doing with all this before I started, so that you know what the plan is, kind of like a roadmap. And then you can follow along as I'm doing the various videos on this. Again, probably 2 videos, maybe. Just depends how yacky I get. All right, so let's get coloring. ILene, shut up. Let's get coloring. Okay, I'm ready. All right, so I'm going to pull my original piece here. And again, I've got an extra. This is just my thin paper. This is another thin paper that I was playing on the domes there. And then, of course, my main piece here to show you. All right. So, how do we do this? And actually, this is probably narrow enough that I can leave these side by side, which will be really cool. And then you can see the effect as I'm creating it. All right, so, excuse my arm.
I'm not sure I understand.
Whoop, and that was Siri saying hello to you. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to start with the blue so you can see how to do this. And again, you don't have to follow the exact pencils that I'm using because we all have different brands. Just don't sweat the brand. Just sweat the shade of the color that I'm trying to show you. All right, so on this first one here, I've got a dark blue, okay? Actually, that's purple. We don't want to use that one. There's my dark blue. And then I have a lighter blue, okay? Now this one I can either use as the clouds. I'm gonna look at something here for you. Bear with me a moment. Yeah, we can do with that. It's going to be a little bit different, obviously, than the one I'm doing, but it still will give you the same effect. All right, and this one is here, my little short Derwent, the pale blue here, and it's color number C370, but if I change it, you know, I'll let you know, of course. Let me check one more thing here. Yeah, I'm going to stay with it, I think. I'm kind of looking through my pencils now to see if I can pull up something really fun. All right, so I'm going to sharpen my pencils because per normal, even though I tell you to do this, which is to sharpen your pencils when you finish a project, I did not. So now I'm having to sharpen them now while I'm on video. My bad. Okay. So I'm going to use 2 colors of blue pencil in order to work out 3 shades on the turret. So let's start. Here's my darker blue. Start that up right there. And the blues that I'm using are a little bit different than the one that I did before, you know, on the one on the left, but no biggie. It still gives you the concept. All right, so I'm going to want a healthy blue, but as I always tell you, you want to start out, what I always tell you is start out with a light pressure and then go back and darken in. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I told you, this is the Pithos Blue. Sorry about that, my bad. And it's 9201. Okay, on Faber-Castell. All right, sorry about that. So I want a healthy shade here, but not super, super dark, okay? Because remember, we got to blend these colors. Okay. All right, now I'm going to my Derwent. And as you can already see, that's going to blend nicely. Let me pull you in a little bit. And again, we're going to start out relatively light and then go ahead and darken. And right now you are seeing the division of the 2 blues, but that will go away eventually. All right, and I'm going to go back to my original blue because now I do want that a little bit darker. And to the right on that same color, I really want it darker yet, okay? So really I've got 2 shades of this one pencil going on just in this one strip. You know, I'm picky about when I do that, which actually I don't need to be because that's the other turret that I'm going to color blue. All right, so now I've got my second blue, right? And I've done this middle blue. Okay, and now I'm just going to do really light. Da, 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 da. And look how neat that progression is already looking. Is that not wild? And look at that really neat effect that you're already seeing, right? So same blue in my middle section. I decided I just wanted a little darker, okay? And you can adjust your blues. You can adjust all 3 of your blues, which is exactly what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to go back to my first blue and darken that up yet. Okay, and then I'm going to get my blender pencil, which I've cleaned off. I actually did clean those off. And very briefly, I'm going to go ahead and blend my colors. Okay. Voila. And look at that nice progression as though you've got your light coming in from the left-hand side. All right, one more touch. So now I'm going to take my final color, which is actually a purple because it's in the same family. It's my Sivo Vivid. Let me do see? And I'm going to come over on the right hand side, the very right. Let me pull you in just a little more. And I'm going to go right down that right hand edge, being careful not to get too thick, but being consistent. And look how nicely that pops in. Voila. And then I'm just going to gently blend that into my first blue. Yes, yes, yes. Da, 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 da. And then, of course, you can adjust your blues as you want, like I said before. I'm going to really try not to touch that left-hand side because I really like how that turned out. Because that's my lightest blue. All right. And, oh, I don't have to clean off that turret, like I said. All right, there you go. Look how sweet that looks with this concept. Okay, did get a little blue there, purple. Now imagine all of this done on all these turrets in the various colors. It's going to look pretty cool. And then I'm going to erase on the top here because of course we're going to go with a different color. I haven't decided yet. That brick's kind of weird. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do this second turret for you. So again, I'm starting with my first 2 blues, right? And the darkest of my 2 blues, I'm going to put over here. And I'm going to figure out the width that I want there. And keeping in mind I've got 2 more shades to go, we don't want to go too far in. So yeah, that'll be good right there. And again, what do I always tell you? I started out lightly. Get out of there. Started out lightly, and then I went ahead and started up on the pressure again. Oh yeah, it's gonna look cool. And I hope you're seeing how straightforward this is. It's not exotic, but I'll tell you what, the end result looks really great. Okay, so now my next blue, I'm just going to go ahead and like do the whole thing like really light. So this right here is actually what the far left is going to look like, but I'm just going to go ahead and pop that on there now. Okay, so really I've got my darkest blue here and my lightest blue. So now I'm going to go ahead and get that medium in there. Look how cool that's starting to look already. Okay, and then I've got my lightest blue. I got to get rid of that little touch right there. I accidentally overcolored here. There we go. Get that back in there. Just very lightly. Just kiss it with the blue. All right, so now I'm going to go back to my darker blue because I lost it a little bit here when I put that second blue on there. Look how cool that looks already, and I don't even have that edge on there yet. And you don't want to blend too much or else you're going to lose your different blues. And don't get too fussy with it, like what I'm doing right now. But again, you know me. The only thing I do want you to make sure is you don't have like a solid line coming down. You want it to blend. Okay, so right now we got 3 blues in there. We got the darkest, then the medium, and very, very light. Okay. And this one's a little bit tougher to do because it's teenier. So that's why you don't want to start out on this turret if this is new to you. And then I'm going to erase that. All right, and then my very last touch after I sharpen my pencil. I've got like a super sharp point here. Is I'm going to go ahead with that darkest color and I'm going to hit that edge and watch that pop. Remember how I did that on my mushrooms? Straightforward, guys, and especially if you just follow my direction the way that I've showed you. You'll get the hang of it. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, So I'm going to let me look at something here real quick. That looks a little jagged to me right there, so I'm going to fix that. ILene, quit fussing. I'm going to screw it up. Okay. All right. So now let me pull everything out of the way and let me pull out. Let's see here. All right. Now, how cool does that look? Look at that. Is that not neat? You could, if you wanted to, you could do the whole thing in blues and it would look really cool. But like I said, I'm going to do the various colors because I want to. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Pilot pen. I don't want to use marker because marker tends to lighten up a little bit sometimes when you have a lot of colored pencil. But I'm going to use my Pilot pen and go ahead and, well, heck, I can do that now. Hold on. You just love how I talk myself into this stuff. Let me find it. Okay, so here's my simple Pilot. It's the G607 there. Gonna run it on some paper. Excuse me for reaching to make sure it works. It does. It works beautifully. I get these on Amazon, by the way, and they're refillable. So when I need more, I can just refill them. I don't have to buy all new. All right, so let me get you close here. And then what I'm going to do, oh, and when you do these windows, make sure that you get right on top of that gray line. Because if you don't, if you fill just up to inside of it, it's not going to look good. It's going to have that yucky grayish tinge. So you've got to be right on top of your gray line. Let me like go super, super close here. So I'm going to outline very, very carefully. Take your time. There's window number 2. There's window number 3. Oh, cool. All right, let me pull you out. All right, now imagine all those black. Isn't that neat? Maybe I'll play with these here a little bit. Take your time, nice and slow. And then you're going to see how cool this will look once these black windows are outlined and in here. See, look at that. All right. Now these get a little touchy right here because there's like really narrow white. If you wipe it out, you wipe it out, big deal. Not my intention, but you never know. These little buggers are narrow. It's just about the width of my pen point, too. Yeah, there you go. And again, this is where you have to absolutely make sure that you're on top of that gray, or else your windows are going to look fuzzy and you don't want them to do that. All right, let me get these last, oh yeah, they'd have a little top window there, wouldn't they? All right, over that. Do the best you can. come down with that window. Okay. So now we've got how this is going to look with the black, with the windows outlined. Okay. And let me see something real quick here. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right. So now, again, I want you to keep in mind the light is coming from the left-hand side, right? And this is lighter because of it, and then it goes into shadow over here. Look how cool that looks. And again, that would look really great all blue, but please keep in mind what we're doing with the cloud. If you want everything blue with some highlight colors, then it's cool. I would encourage you, however, you know, work with the colors, okay? It's gonna look pretty cool. Okay, so let me do one more thing here, is I'm gonna put in the sun. All right, so this is my eyeshadow palette. Where did I get it? I bought it from Amazon. It's BH Cosmetics. It can be anything, but they've got like buku colors. Look at that. And you've seen me use these shadows before on different things. Okay, let me pull that. All right. So notice I'm not opening this on top of my page, because knowing me, I'd spill it on there. And you could erase it off, but it'd be annoying. All right. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab, let's see, this third yellow. Let's see here. Yeah, this first one here. Fifth one up. And I'm just going to rub my finger in it. Okay. And I'm going to arc it just a little bit, but you don't want a perfect arc, okay? You want that just to be out there a little bit. And I'm going to come up a little bigger here. Be careful you don't get carried away, because it's a lot of fun to do this. Okay, so we're indicating a sun right here. Gonna make sure everything is colored there. And you know what? I'm gonna hit that with just a little bit of goldish brown. So see this other color here? I mean, just a touch. Don't go crazy with it here. Okay? Sweet. And then make sure that you get out to the edge. Make sure your color's all the way out. Okay. All right, let me put my eyeshadow away before I spill something on me. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun with these eyeshadows, and actually I've done several videos on coloring with eyeshadows, not just highlighting, but actual coloring using Q-tip and stuff like that. It's fun. All right. And while I'm thinking of it, since I mentioned it, the Q-tips are not really Q-tips. Let me show you. Pull you in. These are makeup applicators, and they've got the flat side on one end, and they've got the pointy side on the other. So this pointy is really great for detail. So that's what I wanted to show you. You can get them on Amazon. There's specific eye makeup applicators. You can look for them on there. Okay, so let me go back. Let me pull out. Look at that. Is that not cool? And all this is going to make more sense as we get the colors in here. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and add one more thingy. So I'm going to take my fine point pen here. Actually, let me double check that too before I tell you wrong. Actually, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be coloring that in. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding 2 extra flags, okay? Easy peasy. And what you need to do with that is just do it on a sheet of paper if you're not comfortable. But look, we just emulate. See, going to go up there and then come back down and go like that. And then I'm going to go here. All right, there's my second flag, all right? And let me do a third. They absolutely do not have to be perfect or even. There you go. There are the 3 flags. And then I'm just going to color them in with black. So now we've gone ahead and added that design element here. Let me do the rest of them while I'm at it, then you can watch me do it. Actually, I forgot to add the little bubble here. Let me pull you in. And you know me by now, this is where I'm encouraging you to add your little doodads. Okay. And let's see, so that's 3 flags there. And then let me add one more just because I can. Straightforward. But again, practice on a different piece of paper till you're comfy with it. All right. So 3 flags added. No, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flags added. Whoops. Sorry for hitting you there. And then what I'll do real quick is I will just take my, you can either take your fine liner, or I'm just grabbing my Pilot pen because it happens to be right close by. And I'm going to color that in. And actually, I'm going to stop with that one right there because you can make these different colors if you want. Let me think that through a second. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm going to make them all black because we got a lot of colors in this main piece. All right, I had to think about that. But if you want to make them different colors, there you go. Okay, there's flag number 2. Here's flag number 3. There we go. All right, so then we got these guys. Yeah. Okay, so there's my last two. Again, take your time when you're drawing in stuff. And you know what? For giggles and laughs, I'm going to add one more flag here for no particular reason, just because I can, again. And by the way, if you want to go ahead and add a little color to your flags, put it right in the middle where this white is. Look at that. You can, in fact, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do it right now, but for future, when I get going more on this, I'll do that. Okay. Okay, so there you go. You can see how quickly this came together, how straightforward it is. I don't want you to be intimidated. Look how cool that looks with the flag. Look how cool that looks with your shading to show the light coming in. And next time you see this, I'll be working on the clouds. I may do another building, depends how far I get it on with it on my own, because as I'm uploading this video, I will be coloring on this. But there you go. Looking pretty cool, huh? I hope you like it. All right, guys, this is ILene Vick for Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. Hope you learned something today. I hope you had fun, and thank you so much for spending time with me. Joyous coloring. Take it easy. Bye.